Hey everybody, Wendy Clinky with Blue Cat Studio. Happy Friday. Today I wanted to do a real quick kind of mixed media style flag. We're gonna kind of just keep it simple, have fun with this. Um, Nothing major. I'm using StreamYard. It's a streaming app, so make sure that if you want to comment or say hi, that you click on the StreamYard link so that I know that you're there and can see your name versus it saying Facebook user. So I'm going to start actually with an 11 by 14 canvas board. And I like it because it's small and solid and I can just kind of plop it up wherever. You obviously could use stretch canvas or note paper or whatever. So basic colors you're going to need red, white, and blue. I'm tending to lean more towards a navy than a lighter blue, but I have got a slightly brighter blue on hand as well, just in case. Additionally, I'm going to have some gold. I showed you the red, obviously. And this is a warm fire engine red. You could also go with a cooler tone red, like Tuscan red from Deco Art Americana. It's going to give you it's a cooler tone. Big brush. I have some white paint pens here. And then just sort of an assortment of stencils, whatever you kind of happen to have on hand. Totally good, totally fine. And if you don't have stencils, you can just mess around. So on this one, I've got a lot of birds and whatnot. We'll get this out of the way. So I'm going to start with a pencil and just kind of roughly sketch where my blue square is going to be. And then let's see, I have to get 13 stripes here. I doubt I'm going to nail it, but let's try. So we go down the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 stripes. Does 11 stripes okay? I'll have to BS our way through that one. I don't know. Okay, well, I've kind of marked roughly where my stripes need to be, and I'm going to have to get creative here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a large brush, and look at this. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's like mermaid. Yeah, I just got back from shopping at Hobby Lobby. Basically decided that, I had to paint simply so that I could test out my new brushes. So this is an angled brush, maybe not the best shape, but it's a big fat one. And I'm just going to literally kind of coat the whole section that isn't the navy blue square with some white. And the reason I'm doing that is so that when I come back with some red, I kind of get a smudgy effect. I want smudgy. All right, here we go. And I splooshed a pretty good amount of paint on my palette this time. Sometimes I go really easy, but since this is kind of a big, almost kind of gooky painting, because we're getting all that white, and it's okay if you get a little bit of white into that section where the blue is going to be. Whoops, I got a little alarm thing here popping. Let me get that. There we go. All right, so just kind of again keep going, getting that paint going. And so when it comes to stencils, I have one that's got cool birds on it. It's just a dollar store find. I actually was looking at Hobby Lobby to see if they had anything cool I could recommend, but so far no. And whatever. But anything that's just got kind of smallish patterns can be really fun. Butterflies, birds, unicorns. I mean, kind of whatever you're feeling today. Doesn't have to necessarily be symbolic. I think I found in my stash a thing with feathers. They're a little bit larger, so I'm going to see how those look. We'll decide when we get there. All right, so I've got this thing coated in white. Now I use just plain white paint as opposed to say gesso, simply because I'm really looking for something that will nicely blend with the colors, whereas gesso sometimes it does some weird things. I want to go a little thinner. Maybe do I have the perfect? Oh, I do. All right. Well, mermaid brush, you were fun. We got to move on to a slightly smaller guy. So now I'm going to go with a slightly larger or smaller. So this last guy was about 1 inch. This one here is maybe 1/2 inch. So it's still not small, but it's definitely smaller than big one of the mermaid. So now that the paint is wet, we'll grab some of the red. And I know I've got to have a stripe here at the bottom. And at first it's going to come kind of thin and a little bit streaky, but that is the look that I'm going for. I can always fill it in more later. Just kind of fill in, and I know I kind of had some stripes here, so May or may not nail them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch this. Now I'm like, didn't get my stripes right. I suppose I could have gone to town with a ruler or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a big dork. All right, well, too many stripes now. It's cool. Or was it 13 of the red? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever. I don't remember. It's not a flag. It's an ode to a flag. There we go. So you notice my stripes are sloppy. I'm good with that, right? And they're a little bit streaky. This is supposed to be kind of a rendition. It's supposed to be kind of rough and a mishmash. So I'm going to offload the excess red from my brush, allowing some of this a chance to air dry a little bit. I'm going to rinse, and let's go with some navy blue. So right now we're really just kind of getting the base colors placed. Hey Donna, how are ya? Good to see you again today. All right, getting the navy blue on here. And I'm allowing it to get a little bit in the red. I'm allowing it to pick up some of the colors. And I'm gonna sort of soften these edges with some brush strokes. Because again, this is supposed to have that sketchy kind of rough look as opposed to crisp and clean. Obviously crisp and clean we can do. I'm trying to get it a little bit stylized. So if I can even get little bits of that red kind of dragging through, just maybe even grab a corner. I'm trying to drag it through. I am not trying to blend it in. I just kind of want some of that red to show up. Little bits here and there. Not too blendy. Let me tilt that up, see if you guys can see it. Sometimes my lighting is awesome and sometimes it's somewhere in between. Okay, so I'm going to offload some of that color. Just make sure that the extra red from my tips isn't there. Now I have not rinsed my brush, but I have offloaded most of my paint. So there should still be some sort of navy blue tint in the brush, which I'm going for, right? I'm gonna give it one shot with this guy. Just dry it a little bit partway. All right, so we just did that quick shot of dry. I've still got wet spots. It's just that the red is so intense. I want some of the white to still happen. So big old blop of white. Look at that. Like to the point of I might be endangering my sweatshirt, but it's cool. All right, so we'll just plop that down, kind of drag it. And there's little bits of navy showing through. I'm good with that. I'm wanting not necessarily a dirty look, but kind of a aged and interesting. And you notice like as I drag and push down, as the white starts to wear off, some of the navy comes in. All right, I'm gonna smooth a few places here. And then we can pick up little bits of the red, but not too much of the red, which is why we allowed it to dry. So again, it's a little smudgy, and that this is totally on purpose. I have to tell you, when I was doing this the first time, it was just so much fun to just be super loose and free. Oops, I got a lot of red there, and that one I have to offload. All right, I'll come back to that guy. It's messy. But again, we're really going for a stylistic look here. Informal, kind of like almost folk art style. Okay, so here we go. I mean, it's rough, and it's supposed to look rough. So if you're feeling like, whoa, I don't know about this, we're on the right track, in the right place. I'm gonna offload the excess paint, and I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. I'm not gonna necessarily rinse it, well, a light rinse. I'm really getting it wet. That's the goal here, is to get this guy wet. So it's a wet brush now, and I'm gonna just pull some of that navy blue and create kind of a navy blue almost wash. It's gooky here. All right, here's where you want to just kind of protect your clothes a little bit. Ugh. All right, the water's coming off, the paint's not. Come on. I know. Okay, so I'm going to dry around the edges of the ferrule so that I'm not splooshing water and I'm only splooshing paint. There we go. Hopefully you're using a protected surface, but it's splashing navy blue, and I'm getting some of those splatter marks across this. I really like the way it looks. So what I did is I got my brush wet. I have a very sort of loose, juicy, for lack of a better term, juicy paint. And then I'm holding it out. And the longer it is, the more, like a little whack on it will kind of get that look. Or in your eye. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, you guys. This is live, like in real time painting for you. If you thought this was funny and know somebody who would just be like, oh my gosh, she's an idiot, you should do that. Woo. All right, well, now it just looks like makeup on one eye. I'm good. Oh, I'm glad that didn't get in my eye. That could have sucked. All right, so proceed with caution as you're splattering, right? But it looks cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rinse the brush. Again, get it real gooky. And then I'm going to do similar with the white on the navy blue. Oh, right. We want it wet. We'll create kind of a wet wash over here. A wet wash. So this is real gooky stuff. And I'm standing up just because it's a little easier to get right above this. And oh, I love that. So I'm going to take some of that white onto the stripes because it will also do nice things for those red stripes. So again, we're going really, it's very stylistic, and we're just having fun, and we're as much practicing a style as we are, kind of going with the subject matter. All right, I'm gonna call that good. I think any more of this and I'm gonna be a major painted mess, as are my walls. Craziness. All right, go ahead and rinse that brush off. Whew. Oh yeah, I got spots all over my arm. Very good. It's my badge of honor. As it is, I got dressed to go to work today and was like, oh my gosh, I got paint in my nails. And then I ended up in so many conference calls, I never left the house. Okay, let's go ahead and blow dry this guy so we can do the next layer. So be ready to break out the gold, and we're going to begin doing some fun stenciling and just kind of getting things in place. Hey Susie, how you doing? All right. So Susie is one of our newest members of the VIP Inner Circle Club. And so for those of you who are watching or interested, I have literally just, and it's only for 1 week, I'm opening up a, let's see, I'll go ahead and grab the stencils while we're at it and squeeze some gold out. But I'm opening up my membership. It's a premium membership. And right now, crazy rock bottom low founding member price of only 20 bucks a month. Standard for the industry for this kind of thing tends to be around 40, 50 bucks. But I'm really just starting this off. So I'm wanting to keep it affordable, keep it simple, keep it doable. All right, play down, just pick some random, again, funny shaped stencils. This is one I just kind of made. And if you guys are interested at some point, I can share the PNG or JPEG. And if you have a cutter, you can just make it yourself. Anyways, the premium membership, it gives you all access to all of my tutorials. So if you liked the unicorn or this guy here, the butterfly or the birdhouses or any of the mixed media that I do and you want access to it, the stuff that I'm right now selling to normal folks, it's all included. And so as those tutorials are completed, they get posted inside the inner circle so that our inner circle folks can take advantage of them. All right, so I'm just doing kind of a chunk of gold here. This one is sort of a brick-like, funky one, and it's not going to be perfect stenciling. It's a little messy, but I'm just trying to add some texture. You could, of course, also do this with bubble wrap. And I think I got to break out my trusty favorite mixed media guy from Dollar Store. And I'm going to add a little bit of gold in here. And again, this is a thick Deco Art Americana or Deco Art Decor, I forget. I put it in my squeezy bottle so I can get it out easier. So anyways, if anyone here is watching between now and May 8th, interested in becoming part of the VIP Inner Circle, please send me a message, DM me, whatever it is we do here, but reach out and I will make sure that you have information on how to get in. And the really cool part is that I do plan next time I open the doors for this to raise the prices, right? This is a one-time thing that I'm offering it for under 20 bucks, $19.97. And once you lock in that rate, so long as you're an active member and maintain your membership, you will have that rate for forever. And I gotta tell you, there's a few memberships I've got that I wish I'd gotten in at founding member rates. So definitely something to think about if you really like this stuff. I mean, half the time, like you think of all the tutorials that I'm giving access to and what I sell them for, you no longer would have to purchase any of it. It would all be included in your membership. It's kind of an insane steal. So I'm kind of randomly just kind of dabbing shapes and stars and funky bits all over this guy. And let's go ahead and do this one here. And so the value of, again, just kind of dabbing stencils, and I tend to just slam down with this because it's a very thick, heavy-duty brush. If you're using foam, you generally have to be a little bit gentler because it holds more paint and will squeeze it through. But I also am going for a sloppy look here, so I don't need perfection with my stenciling. It just needs to be good enough. Oh yeah, so if you find yourself like, hey, I'm wanting to learn to paint, or I paint some, but I really want to take my painting to the next level. There's so much more I want to do. I don't feel confident, but I want to become confident. That's really what the Blue Cat membership is going to be all about, or is all about, is giving you access to all kinds of designs. And if you also happen to be a teacher where you paint parties, or you do paint parties or whatever, I'm allowing commercial access, basically licensing the designs for in-person if you are a member. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone. All right, I've got these feathers and I'm going to pick this one. Can we see that design? Yeah. And I think I'm just going to place this guy right here. Ooh, there's a big old white goop. Maybe I won't put it there. Maybe we'll sop up that white goop first. Okay. We'll put a feather right here. Or maybe we'll actually put the feather in the navy blue. Grab a little bit more gold. So again, if you want to be part of that membership and want in, send me a message. I'm not really posting the link publicly much because I'm just looking for a very limited number of folks, trying to keep it small. And we as a group and sort of an art family will grow together. and it's your opportunity to help, you know, sort of guide the direction. You know, it's your membership, and you'll be like, hey, Wendy, I love it when you do this. I don't love it when you do this. Can you do more of this? Okay. I mean, let's face it, at that point, you're my boss, right? So anyways, that's the Blue Cat Inner Circle. And so again, if you're interested, just, you know, send me a text or IM me or whatever it is we do here on Facebook. And I will happily get that out to you. Okay, I am loving these feathers. I bought these ages ago. It's like this cool wheel. And it's from the dollar store, of course. And I've never used it. And oh my goodness, I kind of love it. Now I'm going to attempt to reverse print because I got all this paint all over this thing. And see if I can transfer that excess paint from the outside of the stencil onto my thing. Oh, my kid just texted me to tell me that it's been half an hour. Our Chinese food should be ready for takeout or pickup soon. Okay, that was kind of cool. Like, it sort of showed up there. So we got some, you know, weird rando designs. I'm good with that. I really liked, where'd I put them? Oh, I really like the birds. The birds are my favorite. And they might, here it is. And I think, oh, you know what? Last time I did that, I did it with navy blue. All right, we're going to try that. I'm going to make my birds navy blue, and then I'll probably paint over them with some gold. So just I'm not even going to rinse my brush. It might have a little bit of the gold left, but I'm just going to come in and kind of dab. Now, for these guys, because they're a little bit smaller, I'm going to do circular shapes with my stenciling brush. And again, these are very, very stiff bristle brushes. Ta-da! There's a bird. Then maybe we want a flying bird here and kind of do some angling and just, you know, randomly put some birds in. Sketch some birds or some butterflies or whatever it is you like. I think it just looks fun having kind of these critters in my flag. Yeah, when I was creating the design, I wasn't really even thinking about it. I just did the birds. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have. I got to do this bigger. And ideally, I think it would even be more fun if we had like a collage underneath, whether you had like an old hymnal or some kind of like something that had that has words on it, but you know, meaningful words, or words I should say that are meaningful to you. Kind of underlaid in here. So whether it was a prayer or a favorite Bible verse, or you have a Bible that's falling apart and you really love it and you want to carry the spirit of the word, and you know you can't throw it away, you can essentially integrate it into art if that's within your comfort zone. I know I bought one of those ones from the dollar store and it started falling apart on me almost immediately. I was like, oh, well, I think some of these words are going to become the foundation for some of my favorite pieces. All right, I'm loving these bluebirds. And I realize it's kind of goofy. And I've almost created a pattern, so I might need to mix it up a little bit. Throw another guy like here to kind of break that pattern. I know, I preach all the time, don't make a pattern, don't make a pattern. And then I go and I make a pattern. Buh. It's all good. See, we're human. Is there another one of these little, oh, here's a crow. Put him, I want the guy facing that way. I'll do this thing. We're going to wipe it down. Now, I don't think I want the stencil print for this guy. Oh, that looks cool. Oh. Okay, then. Huh. Wiping it off, I made this little navy smudge. Okay. We'll do this little birdie standing. I'm getting patterny, aren't I? How do we de-pattern this guy? I'll just put the bird here. That'll do. Okay. And then maybe just a couple more. Here's a little dude. Little guy here. And you don't have to do birds, right? If you have something else that you're loving, then do that something else. like these little guys. Okay. So now I've kind of broken the pattern by creating more of just sort of a flow. So we've got the little guys, sort of the big ones, and then clumps, and they sort of just move across the flag. And we'll give this stencil guy a rinse. Now, once you've rinsed a stencil brush, you pretty much have to kind of hang it up and give it a break. These things do need to dry. Obviously, wash it thoroughly. So let me grab another stencil brush here. All right. This time I'm going with it's like a softer chip brush, a boar bristle brush. Say that fast. Boar bristle brush. Boar bristle. I can't. And it tends to be a little bit fluffier on the end, so I literally just went and cut it off because you know that's how I do. We're paint. Oh, it's over here. I'm gonna see if I can't get a bird or two in my flag. Oh yeah, beautiful. I love it. I love it. I don't think I'm gonna have too many birds in the flag, or in the not in the flag, but in the blue part. Maybe one more of those little dudes. I kind of like him. Are they all stacked in the same spot? Kind of. That's all right. So again, this is what I love about being able to about this kind of project is it's very much kind of have fun, play. You got the concept for the methodology, so apply it in a way that suits you and your taste. If you think some of the things I've applied are ugly, I am not offended. You know what? Go ahead and judge and don't like it. That's cool. So we got a little bit of chaos going on here, but it's also kind of fun. So let's go ahead and now I'll rinse this guy because I think I'm good for gold things in the blue part of the flag. I'm gonna blow dry it real quick. Then we'll come over at some of these navy blue birds and add some gold shimmer. Oof. The fierce wind is blowing all my stuff. All right, I'm sure one of my mermaid brushes will do the trick. Yes? Not so much. Okay. I'm going to grab a smaller point brush here. Squeeze out a little bit more of the gold. Now, if you had a gold paint pen, you didn't have a good gold paint, and I tell you, there's good gold paint and there's good gold paint and there's garbage gold paint. I actually have a couple of bins of gold paint that I consider to be garbage, and just refuse to use. So I'm going to add a little bit of something to this guy, and you can kind of almost do it in strokes, and you know you can kind of add some accent to him. He doesn't have to be. I feel like I've got shadows here. Sorry. Just little bits kind of on the bird. And this guy, I'm going to give him kind of a little bit on his tail. In fact, I might even drag a little extra gold out. It might need a second coat, but give him almost like phoenix tail, like big, long, swoopy. You know, you can exaggerate your birds and their attributes with the gold paint. And if the navy blue is still showing through a lot in parts, or you need to amp it up, you can. Just a couple coats of the gold in a few spots. So this guy, I'm kind of making him really more like a phoenix. Because in some ways, I feel like, you know, as much as the bald eagle is our national symbol, you know, we have a tendency to, in some ways, rise from our own ashes and continue to evolve and become and grow as a nation. So I always get a little excited about some of the other symbology that we could throw in there. So you can add accents to the wings. You know, you can show as much or as little of the navy as you like. Just grab some navy and drag that tail out. I want these big crazy phoenix tails going on here, and I can't see the gold well enough, so I'm just gonna whoop. And they don't all have to be these sort of swallowtail birds, but it is fun. Kind of exaggerate. So here's, you know, we're taking an idea of a stencil in an existing shape and we're riffing on it, right? We don't have to take the stencil for exactly what it is. We can almost just use it as a base to kind of build out another idea. Like maybe I struggle with getting a basic core bird shape, but now that I have the basic bird shape, I can add all these fun bits to it. And you know, the whole tails and the tails, because that's certainly not what we had here before, but I do love those tails. Although these little stoic crows who just are standing there, I'm going to leave them as stoic little crows. But some of these other guys, I might give them a little extra zhuzh on their wings. Make them more majestic, for lack of a better term. I don't know. Boop. So the next project, because, you know, I took my daughter to Hobby Lobby for her very first time today. And I was like, she's like, Mom, I want to go to Michael's. I'm like, girl, we got to go to Hobby Lobby. It's like Michael's on steroids. I don't go there too often. And I always want to go on Sunday. And then we're like, whoops. And she really wants to, she wanted to buy a crown, but she has something very specific in mind. Not like a tiara, but something else. And so finally I'm like, all right, let's just get the foam and we'll make it for you. So we had a ball just finding all the things. And I don't know, I really love cosplay and stuff. So, you know, you guys, we are all of a kind. We are makers, right? I know that's why you're sitting here watching me, because you're a maker. You love to do things. You're creative. And oh my gosh, when I have time, I make the most insane Halloween costumes. It gives me such pleasure to make insane Halloween costumes. I'll have to post pictures sometime. So last year I kind of was meh, but in prior years I've done some pretty interesting things. Okay, so now that I've amped up my birds, I don't even know if I want to add gold to them or just leave them as these big soaring swooping blue things. And I realize this is still kind of a goofy looking thing. If anything is too much for you, you can always kind of tone it down with, you know, some white. I could come in and play down a bird a little bit. You know, he's got a little, so that he's a little bit more subtle. And I didn't really rinse the brush. I just kind of offloaded and dipped in some white and then came in. And so anyways, as creatives, you know, if you want access to all like my premium best tutorials, I would really urge you to consider joining the Blue Cat Inner Circle. Again, doors are open only through May 8th, and then I'm closing them for a while so we can kind of get ourselves going and launched. I've already let a number of my founding members into the group, and I've already got access to a whole bunch of the tutorials. So if you also want access, again, it is literally $20 a month, and I'm pledging to provide at least 3 really significant designs every single month. And then, you know, anytime I do an art kit available for sale, I will also place the tutorial in there so that you have access to it. So you pretty much have all access to all my stuff. And because I'm also opening it to people who teach, you know, there's some commercial licensing available. Again, there's no extra fee for that. That's just included. And so it's kind of like can't lose, right? And so one of the values that I'm hoping this adds is that, you know, if you really enjoy my style, then you have, again, it's full access. I teach you everything. And I'm hoping that as we go, I'll also start to teach you guys sort of the design process so that you can begin to develop your own designs as well and sort of learn, I don't want to say the secret sauce because I don't know if there's necessarily secret sauce, but some of the way that I think about them when I go to create those. It really, you know, once you kind of get a method, it goes. Oh, Susie, I know you joined already. Yeah, you're one of my very first ones, and you got to see all the stuff. Yes. So here, look at me. I need to like look up and like pay more attention to my comments. Although I'm not sure they're scrolling. I got to get better at this. But yeah, I feel at peace at paint when I paint too. Okay, I'm going to blow dry this. And, you know, I'm feeling like I may want to do some more toning on this. But again, you know, you probably don't want to sit here and watch me mess around. So I'm going to blow dry it, and then we'll go to town with our white paint pen. Actually, I'm going to use the brush first and see if I can get some stars. But what I like about the paint pen is I often feel like I want to add some phrases. Now, I'm not going for a full 50 stars here. I'm just going to kind of hand jam a handful, a smattering of them. There we go. Just little stars here and there. Whoops. So I know that on my last one, I felt like writing in really like sort of flowy, long, spread out, hardly readable, but I know it's there, cursive-y stuff. I wrote "Let Freedom Ring" and "All men are created equal," and you know, think of if you have phrases that you really want to include, you know, "One nation under God," whatever it is that kind of that I don't know, I don't want to say motivates you or you know just flows through you, you know, when you're doing that. Those are the phrases to write. Okay. So previously I did the stars actually with a paint pen and it gave a very sketchy feel, which I really liked. I'm not sure I let my paint dry long enough to take the paint pen, and so I just don't want to kill my pen. So let me just try this. And I'm going to wrap this up fairly shortly. So again, if you are thinking about joining the inner circle, oh, we also have an annual membership subscription where if you pay in full for the entire year, it is not 20 bucks a month or 19.97, but see, 20 times 12 is 240. So I'm actually doing it for 197 for the entire year. So it's like 2 months free. I'm just kind of colored y'all right. Yeah. All right. 1 or 2 more stars. Okay, it's uneven, it's wonky, it's goofy, but we've kind of got a thing going on here. And you know, I see a few areas where I feel like it was maybe a little much, so you can tone down some of your stenciling with some white paint, thinned out white paint, you know, whatever suits you, and you really can like spend a lot of time tweaking it. So I'm gonna do one sketchy, you know, "Let Freedom Ring" on this thing or something like that. Grabbing the paint pens. Okay, so on this one, I think right along this guy right here, I'm going to write "Land of the Free." And since this is a slightly larger one, I'm going to see, no, I want the sketchy little guy here. I love my paint pens. I have them in like every color, but oh my gosh, the black and white ones are my favorites. So I'm going to go really long and swooshy. So again, it's you can almost not read it, and that's the point. It's not supposed to be bold, at least for me. Now, if you feel that you want more, then you can totally do it differently. So down here, I'll write with, if I can spell, liberty and justice for all. Again, it's supposed to, for me, I want it messy. And then maybe here, come on, pen. All men are created equal. And I get all feminist and be like, and then there's women at the top. Whatever, being silly. Okay, so that's kind of the piece right there. And again, some of this is a little bit over the top, so you could tone down portions of it, amp up parts, just kind of make it your own. But you've now learned the technique for how to create kind of a funky folk artish style flag. We got a lot of glare. I apologize. There we go. And that's it for now. So that'll be kind of fun to just have hanging up. And we will see you guys next time. Have a great, great evening. Okay, so where's my button? Here we go. Well, okay. Let's see if I can do it this way. Bye.